Hi guys, so my name is Edmore Munedzimwe. I've been invited to do a presentation for career vision. Like most speakers, I'll begin by introducing myself. I don't know why everyone wants to hear your qualifications as if that will justify the sense of what you are saying. We all know that qualified people can say senseless things. So anyway, I'm a certified career analyst, certified trainer, certified in business intelligence reporting, certified app builder, certified solution developer. I have an MSc in information systems and a BSc honors in mathematics. So primarily this recording is produced for the Methodist Revival Church Youth. I thank Pastor Maposa and crew for inviting me, giving me an opportunity. Pastor Maposa knows that career guidance is at the very heart of my, it's at the core of what I do. It's deep in my heart. So this is for for the Methodist youth and for any other interested party. So how did I start on career guidance? So in 2002, when I was Form 5, I got an opportunity to go to a career guidance event. I was at Goromonza High School. At that time, I found that I was shocked to find that I did not, I was very, very ignorant, to put it bluntly, in terms of career information. So I turned to a hobby. I started collecting script cuttings from newspapers for job descriptions, for program advertisements from various institutions. Then, so I became very knowledgeable in terms of career options that were there, and I actually got to even advising my fellow students. I never did start a career club though, probably because I was in many clubs at my school. Then 10 years later, when I was now a software engineer, I turned that scrapbook into a website, careerzim.com. Some of you may have heard of it. So there we collect stories of professionals, we describe careers, we describe programs to get people into those programs. We do all this for free to the student, and we have partnered organizations like the Ministry of Labor in their career guidance, and we've also at times arranged different career guidance events with private schools, all of which were free. So career guidance is really something that I'm passionate about. So in terms of my work experience, I've already told you about my qualifications. My first job was as a sales analyst, which was a good fit because my undergrad was mathematics. The masters in information systems came much later. Last year, in fact, that's when I completed it, which was more than a decade later. So I started out as a sales analyst, a little bit of IT, but mostly analysis. Then after that, all my jobs were software engineering. I worked for the SIRDC. Then I joined another organization which is not mentioned here, Black Forest. Then after that, I did some independent consultancy. Then I got headhunted by Microsoft twice actually. The first year was for a post in project management, but I missed the invite on LinkedIn. 1 year later, they sent an invite again, and that was for the post of application development consultant in West East and Central Africa. So after 4 or 5 rigorous interviews from different continents, I then joined that exciting role. Currently, I've now moved to running my own consultants full time. I was doing that before I joined Microsoft, but I got back into it full time after I left there. So I'm now the managing consultant for Model Business Services. We do software engineering. We have a special interest in education and other areas which will come out in time. So anyway, let's get into it so that this isn't all about me. So every journey requires one thing, and that thing is a destination. So before you start a journey, you need a destination. And a vision, a career vision, is a destination for where you want to go in terms of your career development, in terms of your growth. So if you ask someone to define a vision, you usually get the definition will go like something that you can do if there is no limitation. And this is a very accurate uh, definition for vision. One can also think of vision as just a mental picture of your ideal reality, or what you want, what would ideally be. So if you have a clear mental picture of what you want, then you have a vision. So our goal in this talk will be to establish how we can have a vision and how we can walk to that vision. So the thing is, the reason why people fail isn't very complicated. So it's the simple things that make us failures in life. So for example, if you look at, let's say, financial literacy, you'll find that it's something that can be taught from even primary school, your budgeting, your saving, how to handle debt, and so on. So these are simple principles that can be taught even from primary school. But because we don't have that, we then fail the rest of our lives in terms of managing money. The same applies even to our careers. The simple reason sometimes why people fail is because they don't have a career vision. And the reason they don't have career vision is because they've never even bothered to look at it. If you consider performance at school, usually we ask students to do well, but we will be saying they don't even know why they are doing what they are doing. Without a vision, without a goal, what is the motivation? So someone can fail exams simply because they don't have a vision or understanding of why they are doing what they are doing. So that is what we are going to do. So getting a vision, this translates to just knowing the problems that you like to solve. That is a career vision. Just knowing what problems you like to solve. So it's funny that one can go all of their life without knowing this, the very purpose of your existence, without ever thinking why, what purpose you exist for. So the thing is, to get a vision, you need to do things that get you to know what problems you like to solve. So if you look at private schools, the high-end private schools, you find that they don't really excel in grades and academics, but they do these things where children discover themselves. They give them exposure by traveling and so on. And because of that, those children grow up knowing what they like. And that early formation of a vision drives them to achieve success and leadership. So, if you are going to get a vision for your career, you need to just sit down and then you find activities that can tell you what kind of problems you like solving. So at school, this is easily done. You could experiment with different things in the community, at home. You could grow trees, you could grow gardens, you could maybe try building a few engines try a little bit of detergent making, safely, of course. But I'm saying when you are doing things, that is how you get to discover your vision. So, having discovered your vision, what you now have is a general idea of what you like. For example, you might like engineering, but engineering is a very wide field. In fact, there are 16 career clusters which we will not go to in this presentation. But generally, you have 16 wide areas. So, by discovering yourself, by knowing the problems you want to solve, you come up with a career cluster that you belong to. So, in this case, I'm taking the example of engineering. So now that I know that I want to be an engineer or I like engineering, is it going to be civil engineering, which is about building, maybe constructing skyscrapers, or you want to construct bridges, or you like building dams, roads, or whatever other infrastructure? Or are you into chemical engineering, where you believe that by constructing different kinds of chemicals we can solve many of the problems that people face in daily life? Or maybe you're into electronic engineering and you want to assemble robotics, you want to assemble computers, you want to assemble different kinds of circuits. Or maybe you are into mechanical engineering, where you build machines. So by drilling deeper into whatever it is that you have identified as your vision, you get to specific areas. So the next question would be, what skills will be required for those areas? When we talk of skills, we are not talking of programs. We are saying there are different study programs out there. You don't know them yet, but what you want to understand is what is the skill set that is required for that specific area which you now have. So the thing that happens in Zimbabwe is, because of resources, you go from your form 1, form 2, and then your school chooses for you what you have excelled in, and they select that for you at form 3. And then at form 4, the same thing happens. You choose the combinations that you fit into at form 5 and 6. So you are sort of making career decisions in a backward way, or they are being made for you, because you are not starting from a vision or a goal, but you are actually just looking at what you have and then working with that. So this is problematic, because good decision must necessarily start with a vision. Good decision making must start with a vision. It must start with a goal, and then we work backwards to what we need to do today to get to that point. But here you are just being pushed from program to program to program. So the way to get around this is, you have developed your vision. You have identified the specific area you want to get into. So the question then is, what skills are required for that area? So let's say we go on with our engineering. It would be probably be something like mathematical skills, computing, communication, technical drawing, and other skills. So these skills, they are like general skills. We haven't talked about any programs here, and you can actually get them from different programs. So once you have an understanding of skills, this takes you to the understanding of what programs are required to get those skills. This is where you now look at what universities offer, what colleges offer, what ever other programs are out there. A challenge here in Zimbabwe is, people are driven by peer pressure and prestige. So there is nothing prestigious about any particular qualification if you really think about it, because studying or a qualification is a means to an end. It is not the end itself. So if we are talking about a degree, there should be motivation. The motivation should be, I'm doing this degree because I want to get this specific skill. If you don't, if the degree is not going to give you that skill, you shouldn't be doing it. If there's a diploma which gives you this skill better than the degree gives it to you, go for that diploma. If there's a certificate which is straight to the point for that skill which you need, go to that certificate. Similarly, apprenticeship. I truly love apprenticeship because it mixes theory and prac, and to me that is the best mode of learning. There are other qualifications. I've mentioned that I did certifications. I had an undergrad in mathematics, and the reason I got head-handed was because of certifications. But a certification can take you 3 months. I got posts which people who have master's degrees or PhD degrees in computer science would not have been offered because I had particular skills. So similarly, don't think of qualifications as if they were some form of prestigious achievement. They are a tool, a means to an end. So just choose the best tool for the job that you want to do. It can be any qualification. It doesn't necessarily have to be what everyone else is doing. So now that you have an understanding of the qualifications that are available to you, the question, if you are still at secondary school, is what secondary school subjects are required. So I've mentioned before that the problem is we start from Form 2, they just identify the subjects they want to give you, and then at Form 3 the same, at Form 4 the same. So what you should have done, what you should be doing is you should know what you want to do in terms of your tertiary programs before you have selected your Form 3, Form 4 subjects. This is this may sound radical, but this is actually how proper decisions are made. You are trying to get to an end. So what is the path to get to that end? What are the subjects that are required for me to do engineering? It's going to be maths, it's going to be physics, and maybe if it's chemical, maybe chemistry, but that may be optional. So it will depend on my choices. And given that I want to become an engineer, even if I am performing not so well today in my science subject, this will then motivate me to study harder in those areas that I like. And it will also mean that if I am still not selected at Form 3 for those other subjects, what I could do is I could take extra lessons maybe during the holiday or some other time to compensate. This may not seem like an easy thing, but imagine a lifetime of a boring career is compared to dedicating 2 years to studying something extra. I can give you an example of a good friend of mine here who, so he got 14 points at A level, but he wanted to do medicine. So he needed 15. So he waited again and wrote chemistry, which he had 4 points in June. And then he got an A, and he was able to apply for his desired program. You've got to have that kind of a focus where you don't compromise on your vision or goals. If you want something, do all you can to get it. This is your life, you only live it once. So you need this kind of energy, this kind of focus. So having identified the secondary school subjects that are required, even if it means you have to do them on your own, or even if it means that you have to take an extra year to do them after you have completed, do that. There is no rush. There's no point in rushing when you are heading towards something that you don't really value. You should actually be just doing something that you want because you have a vision. So the natural question here is, but what if it's already too late? Some people have passed their O levels, A levels. They are now at a stage where they've even done a degree that they don't really value or is not producing much value for them. The good news is it's never too late. So I'll give you an example here and say, let's say you've done your commerce degree, any commerce degree, and you wanted to get into IT. You could simply write short courses. This may take you a year or even less, and you cross over to that field. Some of the best people I've worked with at Microsoft and other places did not have IT degrees. And in fact, even today, if you were to ask me for career advice, I would say if you want to go into IT, do something completely different, then top up the IT because that gives you two strengths, the IT itself and also another area of focus. So if you wanted to go into ERPs for mines, it would be best if you had a mining degree and you might have even a 1 year program in IT. So think of careers in that way. It's not, you should never limit yourself or sit and say I can't find a job because I did the wrong degree or I did something I did not want. You can still cross over to whatever you want. If you have a clear vision, no obstacle is too great. You can always overcome. So don't limit yourself. Look at short courses. Short courses are really powerful things for 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 taking you to different areas in your career. In conclusion, I will say that plan. When we do career guidance, we give student an exercise. Go and write an essay about 5 years from now. Write about each day from Sunday to Saturday of what you want to do. So this gives them clarity in terms of where they are going. And it's particularly useful if you can do this for a time when you start working. So for some it may be 10 years, for some it may be 7 years, but if you can do this, you get so much clarity. When you are planning, learn to plan significantly ahead. This There's a now disease where people want to succeed tomorrow, but the reality is growth is gradual. You should not rush yourself. You should plan and you should do um, the programs that will get you to where you want, the steps that will get you to where you want. If you order your steps, you are headed for greatness. So if you want a framework maybe or a method for designing your step-by-step goals, you could look at what is called the SMART framework. Or it talks of specific, measurable, and so on. You could use that to design your time-bound goals in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, and you have clarity. If you get that kind of clarity, there is very little chance that you would not be able to achieve what you want to achieve in life. So, in conclusion, I'll just say that a vision is what will get you success in life. If you are just going to be walking around hoping for the best, then you are gambling with life. But what you need to do is to have a vision. There are things that may come up on your path, just like on any journey. But if you know where you are going, you're going to keep going. You're going to get up even when you are struck down, and you are going to achieve your goal in the end. You are going to achieve your vision and look back and say, I have succeeded. It's never too, you are never too young to design your vision. This is one of the issues that I've actually bumped into in career guidance, where you find that parents or teachers end up imposing decisions on students because they feel that they are too young. But if you compare with other countries, you'll find that people make these decisions early and are able to specialize early, and they are able to start on their careers early. And by the time those people are 30, 35, they are already up in the hierarchy of career development because they had that advantage. So don't regard yourself as too young. Conversely, don't regard yourself as too old. 5 years can change a life so much that we would be surprised looking back. So take your time to do this simple exercise. Write about 5 years into your future. If you can do that and you don't achieve much more, give me a call and I'll help you laugh at yourself, because this is just simple and it works. I have tried to keep this short because I believe that one of the issues we now have is a ton of motivational speakers. I'm not a motivational speaker, and I'm not a motivational speaker, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with motivational speakers, but a lot of them tend to complicate success. I believe that success is about doing simple things consistently in a clear manner towards a clear vision. It's not about 20 rules, about 100 rules, about no. It's just about being clear about your vision, being clear about what's needed to get to that vision, and sticking to it against all odds or challenges that come your way. That is just what brings success, not only in careers but in also in other areas of your life. So I would like to thank you for giving me time to talk to you, and I hope you have a great career ahead. Thank you.